One Sharon Danley here from 2 Minute Tips for Healthy Beauty and Confident Aging. I wanted to bring something up this week that we're going to talk about that is how we use our makeup in a way that is gives us the most bang for our buck, if that makes any sense at all. How much do we really need? How much will it? Whoops, sorry, I'm having a little bit of issues here. It's just me, it's not anything else at the moment. Um, we're going to be talking about the most important aspects of your hair and makeup. How do you get out the door fast? But how do you look great and continue to look great throughout the day? I just need to know if anybody is on, if we are live here, just to make sure that everything is okay. Can I see anybody? No, I don't think I can yet. But anyway, I think I see one person watching. So, okay, got it. Great. Thank you, ladies. Okay. So, we're going to talk about, again, just to make sure here, we're going to do two make betters that we have in line, that I had in line for you for last week, but unfortunately, technical stuff, bada bing, bada boom, we had a problem with it. So we're going to have the make betters with contestants 13 and 14, and then what's the most important aspects of your hair and your makeup, and of course, followed by our usual Q&A. So let me just move something around here on my desk so I can see where I'm going. And we're going to jump right into the most important aspects of makeup and hairstyling. Alrighty, to make it simple, easy, the number one thing, the most important thing is do you have enough foundation around your eyes, your nose, and the sides of your lips, and your chin, like that. It's the center of your face, because that gets most of the elements, gets the sun and the rain and the snow and the wind and everything else. So this is the part of the face that takes the wear and tear. So that's what you want to touch up. Once you put it on the rest of your face, you should never need to touch that at all. And good morning, everybody. Thanks for checking in and saying hello. And we will have some time to talk in a little bit. So this is where you concentrate. Now, on a video that I did for foundation, I show how I go in with an extra little bit. Sometimes I go in with a dome brush and just push some extra product in. Just right in through here, like this. Now I have bags. They're still there. They ain't going away, but they can look softened up. They can look slightly camouflaged, or like they're behind a veil. So I just put an extra layer here. And of course, putting the foundation that's 2 shades lighter of the same foundation, a dual finish powder foundation, the MAC or the Barelle. And I put a triangle in through here and around the eyes. That's most important, ladies. It's number one. And it also creates a kind of a clean canvas for putting on your eye makeup. I think a lot of women make the mistake of putting on more eye makeup to make their eyes stand out, when in fact, cleaning up the canvas or the skin behind the eyes, you don't need as much eye makeup for your eyes to stand out. Does that make sense? So to me, that's well, it's just number one. Now, piggybacking on number one place is a corrected brow and lip shapes. Because as we age, when we're younger, they're usually just great, but as we age, our lips change. They fall down, sometimes we lose our upper lip altogether, or sometimes we our lower lip seems to disappear, and our eyebrows, generally speaking, a lot of eyebrows drop down in the front, so they come down, and it gives us a look of being angry, when in fact we're not. Or the back end of our brows drop down because the skin is coming down from the skull. See, if I do this, see what happens? It pushes down even more. But when I bring it back up, it lifts the brows. So we can do that though, just with some correction. So brows are piggybacking on the even skin tone. And with another piggyback, in my estimation, is the lifted crown or circumference right in through here. Okay? For most people, that's an essential. I haven't seen anybody yet who I've worked on either physically applied makeup and hair or digitally that didn't benefit from having the circumference of the crown lifted a bit, just to give some nice fullness. It makes a huge difference. So as far as I'm concerned, those three are number one. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot to do those things. So next is your corrected color and weight for your brows and lips. Once you've got the shape right, you want the right weight, the right color in both instances, okay? So for those who, now this is where we get into a little bit of different territory with some whose hair goes white, their brows become very, very light, or they stay very dark. And if they're dark, then you go with that natural look. But dark brows and white hair can look fantastic. And then there's those of us who absolutely lose all color, volume, and everything. They just become very dull looking. So that's where we need to add some oomph to our eyes, and you can do that eyeshadow and a flat-edged angled brush, which are all listed in the description box for you afterwards. Or it's not called the description box anymore, it's called the show more box below the video. And then of course a correctly strengthened lash line. So some people maintain wonderful eyelashes throughout. They just seem to have that, but they usually have good, healthy hair that's thick too. But then there's the rest of us, as you know, I wear false lashes. I wear the Kiss O2 lashes because, for me, only because I'm practiced at it, it's faster than curling my lashes and putting on mascara, and I simply don't get the oomph that I do with the false lashes. Now, of course, there are times when I just wear mascara, and that's when I'm not filming, I'm not, doing anything much. It doesn't matter. But if I'm going to be around people that need to make a presentation, performing, or anything like that, then I want to pump up the ದ್ದು in a fast and easy way that gives me a natural drama. It's the natural drama you want. You don't want an unnatural look, especially as we age, because, well, it just doesn't look that good, and we don't need to be more invisible than we are, do we, ladies? Yeah, it's that's just the way it is. Those are the things that are the most important. Even skin tone, piggybacked by corrected brows and hair, lifted hair, circumference of the hair, followed by, correct weight and color for lips and brows, and the strengthened lash line, okay, and strengthened eyes in the most subtle ways. These are the most important things, ladies. So I'm going to see if anybody has any questions here before we move on to our contestants. Let's see, Maria. Hope there will be an instant replay because I can't stay, but I love your videos. You're welcome, Maria. Absolutely, there will be. No problem. There absolutely will be. And Madeline, you are absolutely right. Well, thanks, Madeline. And I think that once we practice and we get good at what we're doing, it really does make a difference. And we have Fifi, Fifi Grove voice samples. Okay, great. Thank you, Fifi. And Madeline, hello. And I'm not sure who this person is, but DLAFO Mon. Well, hello and welcome to you. Okay, and there will be others joining too. Now, I just want to make sure that anybody has any questions about this stuff. Now, just to let you know what I'm wearing today is I've got my lashes on, of course, the Kiss number 2. I'm wearing the print underneath my eyes. I'm wearing the print for my eyebrows. I'm wearing the Coquette in my crease line, and I'm wearing the eye foundation that's 2 shades lighter, my highlight foundation. I'm wearing that around my eyes and on my eyelids. I find that I don't bother buying a lighter, what do you call it, eyelid eyeshadow for my lids, excuse me, anymore, because it's just not necessary. The foundation does the trick. My lips are the Maybelline 24 Hours Superstay, 1 coat of 05, and I believe that's Forever Wine, and it's a thin coat. That gives me my outline, and that's where I correct my lip shape with. Then when that's dry, I do a thin coat of number 55 Perpetual Plum, and when I do the thin coat, I don't go down, I don't cover the whole lip. I do more of the outline of the lip. So then when I put the 55 on, I cover the entire upper lip, and I go over the lower lip of the 05 that I've already done, and make sure the corners are covered. Then when that's dry, then I put the 110, the highlight, only in the center. Because why would you put lipstick, a darker lipstick in the center of your lip, if you're only going to put a highlight over top of it anyway? Doesn't make any sense, waste of product, and you get better results doing it this way. So see, this way, and I only take it to the roll. I don't go over the roll. So this way I get a 3D look, and a 3D look will help to make your lips look plumper and fuller without injections or anything else. Okay? So let me see. I think there's a couple of questions here that may be... Okay, Alfie, what's the best way to lift the crown hair after a cancer? It's so thin. Okay, if your hair is that thin, Alfie, I would highly recommend a topper until your hair comes back in better. Or you may, depending on how thin it is, you may want to look at a wig or like a half wig, but toppers, the toppers they make these days are fantastic. In fact, I'm thinking about getting one just because I love them so much, and they give me the height that I need, the extra little bit of hair that I need. I'm going to play around with one myself one of these days soon. Maybe it'll be a little treat for myself for the fall. But that's the route I would go. Okay, if you're give yourself some time after your cancer treatments and see how the hair comes back in, and treat it. Keep it nice and clean. Don't put a lot of product on it, and just take good care of it, and I'm wishing you the best on getting over it. Okay, I hope that answers your question. And Kathy, been waiting for this all week, and wouldn't you know it, I'd be late. It doesn't matter, Kathy. I'm going to, as you know, I will put the replay up for afterwards in case you've missed anything. Okay. And Denise, hi, I'm back, quite a bit grayer and eyes still sensitive after cataract operations, waiting to learn more. Denise from South Africa. Well, congratulations on getting over that cataract surgery, Denise, and I hope it all went well. And yes, things will be sensitive for a little while, but just wait. Don't bother with your eyes, but you can do your brows, you can do your lips, you can do your blush, you can do your foundation, away from your eyes. So you can practice on your lips and your brows in the meantime, okay, Denise? Wonderful. And Fifi says, I've never applied lashes in my life. Can we see that one day, please? You can see it today if you want, because if you go into the search box on the main page of my YouTube channel, there's a little search box there where the tabs are across the underneath the banner, and there's a little spyglass and it says search. Just go in and type false lashes, and there's a few of them up there for you to take a look at. I love them. I tried, and I have to say, I still really like the L'Oreal Double Extend Tube Mascara. It's still good. The delivery system is terrible, but the mascara is good. And when I do wear mascara, I will wear either that or Blink. But, for me, false lashes is just faster and easier. And Madeline, I am interviewing for a new job, trying to look younger. Age discrimination out there. Any suggestions? You bring up a very good topic, Madeline, and age discrimination is alive and well. There's no two ways about it. However, trying to be something we are not sends a message that we're not confident in who we are. Does that make any sense? If I were going for a job interview, oh, perish the thought, excuse me, I need some caffeine. Saturday morning with you gals and caffeine. Can life get any better? If I were doing it, I would just put my best makeup and hair on, fixed. I would wear something wardrobe-wise that speaks to the culture, the business culture that you're interviewing for. Okay? Like if you're in show business as an example, or something in that whole world, then you'd want to dress a little bit avant-garde, perhaps, maybe not. If you're in the business culture, like finance and things of that nature, you want a suit is good, or a dress with a jacket, understated. The blacks, the navies, the grays work well. If you're working or interviewing for schools, or working with children, or libraries, or things of that nature, you can dress in what I call is an upscale casual. It's a casual, but it's a bit upscale. You still put your best self forward. Like you might wear pants and a jacket, with a blouse and belt, whatever. Or if your figure type would suit better something that isn't tucked in, than a nice camisole or shell or something that sits nicely on your body frame. I hope that helps. And just put your best self for who you are right now forward. That's the main thing. And I can tell you, when we really present well, and that means when you're well groomed and well applied with your makeup and your hair, it's compelling to every age. It truly is. I've done experiments going out into the street and just walking along and taking a note of people's reaction. And they do react by the way you present. There is no two ways about it. When I don't wear makeup and I don't, I just put my hair up into something and don't really bother with it, I'm as invisible as it gets. But when I put my best self out forward, I do have gentlemen stand to the side or things of that nature. So it's and the other thing that's important when you're doing your makeup and hair, while you're doing it, you can feel the self-confidence start to rise to the surface. It comes out, and that self-confidence is what you want to take with you to the interview. And just another little thing, when you go to the interview, have a little elevator speech prepared. When they say, tell me a little bit about yourself, don't go on for any more than about 35 to 40 seconds. But write it out first, because you want to cram it with everything that's good and not do any of the ums, ahs. So write it, edit it, fix it, and practice it. Speak it out. And say, hi, I'm, your name, that sort of thing, as if you were slating for, a movie or a gig of some kind. Practice your slate. It makes a huge difference. And make sure that when you shake hands you don't use a pump handle, and you don't use the fish. It's firm but not gripping. Anyway, I hope that helps. I do tend to go off a little, don't I? And Ellie says, that would be great, Fifi. Okay, I'm sorry, you're talking to somebody else on here. And here's a question. What do you think of magnetic lashes? I don't. There's a scam. Putting magnets that close to your eyes is... And I've watched videos, I've seen people try to put them on, and the way they're even placing the magnets, I have my watery eye today, the way they place the magnets, the ends stick out. They don't go in right into the corners like a good false lash does. So I wouldn't go there. I'm serious. You want to do the false lash routine because I think it's great. Follow the instructions that I have on those videos, and you will see that it makes it. There's one on lashes actually, and I show the 3 different kinds of lashes for different situations with a demi lash too and all that sort of thing. It's a good video. Take a look at that. I can do my lashes, both of them, in about a minute, if that. Seriously. And why? Because I practice. I do them all the time. That's why. You remember, you are what you practice. So the more you practice, the better. Once you've got it home, once you know how to do it right, it gets easier and easier and easier. And the Kiss O2s are the best for most people. My Kiss lashes last me at least 3 months. And they're about $2.50 or $3 a pair. So I hope that helps. And what is the 55? Sorry, I got in late. Oh, the 55 is the Perpetual Plum lip color. The 005 is Forever Wine. 55 is Perpetual Plum. And 110, I think, is Pearly Pink or something like that. Okay, and let me see. Show that in video, please, if I do. Thank you. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Ellie. Oh, if I get a topper, I think is what you're asking. I definitely will. I definitely will if I get one. Which, you know, I have a fight with myself because I tend to live a measured, streamlined life. If I don't need it, then I don't buy it. If it's not kind of essential, then I don't buy it. I'm very much for streamline, and I feel the same way about makeup and everything. Anything I have, I use. So anyway, Madeline, thank you. I'm proud of my 38-year tenure and accomplishments. Excellent. Bravo. I try to present myself as best as I am. Excellent, Madeline. Good for you. Good for you. And Madeline again here. Great advice. Interviews with younger people. Oh, I know. I know. Okay. Well, all right. So how about we move along to our next segment, which is we're bringing up contestant number 13. Whoops. So here is her before picture. Now, doesn't she have a lovely smile, a compelling smile? She's got lovely gray hair, and she does a fairly nice job with her makeup, but with some tweakage. Let's see what we get. Can you see what the differences are? Notice how the brows, the right one has been lifted compared to the left. And the shaping is pretty good, but I've moved the arches back more closer to the back end a little bit. And with her eyes, notice how I've strengthened them mostly by using the gel liner in the upper waterline and using eyeshadow with a flat angled brush on the lower lash line. dropping it off at the back end and then blending it in towards the pupil. And with her lips, what I've done is I've strengthened them and defined them, and I've augmented them in the center top and bottom. And then notice how extra foundation around the eyes and the nose, remember the element, the place that gets the elements makes a difference. And I've contoured her nose. I've added a little bit down the sides of the foundation that's about 2 shades darker. Now the other thing that I've done is added, or not added, but lifted the circumference of her hair and the center of her crown. But if you notice the right side of her head, I've brought that in a little bit, not her head, her hair. I've brought that in a little bit to balance it out a bit more. Okay, let's take a look at her guidelines. Now you can see in the guidelines where the bare spot where the arch is, that's where she'll have to fill in with an eyeshadow. And if you notice in the left brow, I've taken some off the top, across the top, and on the right one, just a wee bit where that arch is that she currently has. And then I've taken off some underneath on both to lift them up. Let you watch that for a second. Okay, so let's bring in our handy dandy bars, because people seem to like how we just look at one aspect at a time to help us really understand. Now, do you see now when we do this how the changes in the brow shape makes a difference? And you can see how the left has been lowered and the right has been raised slightly. And just thinned out just a wee bit. And where it's thinned out is really in the front end, where it tends to be a little bit thick. So it gives the overall feeling, when you remove the thickness there, it gives the overall feeling that the brow is lighter. Now let's take a look at her eyes. Now, take a note of how her eyeball in the after picture jumps out. It's stronger, but it's naturally stronger. And notice how the skin color around her eyes being evened out sets up the eye to stand out better. Now we're going to bring the brows in here. And look at the difference that makes. When you put it all together. See, when the brows are architecturally sound for the face, it makes a huge difference in the overall look. Okay, now let's go to her lovely lips. And you can see how just that wee bit in the center, both top and bottom. And notice how I brought the top, I brought her bows in a little closer together. Now that's a little bit of a personal preference on my end. She can certainly, not do that if she wants, but I'm showing her that what I think looks better is to bring them a little bit closer in. But especially, adding a little bit more to the center, top, and bottom, and defining the lips makes a huge difference. Okay, one more look. And let's move our contestant up here and see if we have any questions or comments from the peanut gallery for all those who remember Howdy Doody. Lashes, my next purchase, Kiss O2. Good for you. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. And make sure that you get the duo lash adhesive. You can get what do you call it? Latex. You can get the non-latex, and while it works well, it's really hard to remove afterwards. Cleaning them off, just a little bit of alcohol on a Q-tip just cleans them up beautifully. I tend to go for the Kiss. I've tried both, and I gotta say, I like something that I can clean off easily afterwards. So that's great. And Kathy, contestant looks fantastic. The eyeliner really makes her eye color pop. Yes, 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 Kathy. Excellent observation. You know, using the neutral colors of the carbon, which is black, print, which is, what is it, gray, coquette, which is taupe, and brune, which is brown. They're all true colors. There's no undertones in them that can get in the way. When you work with true neutrals and think about eye makeup as weight, line, and shape rather than color, you'll get every single time you will get much better results. And what's interesting is on the Facebook page, the Going Gray and Loving It page, I do Make Betters twice a week. And I have to say that I use the same method for everyone. Why? Because it works. Everybody's face is different, so everyone's going to look slightly different. This business about having to have different ways of applying makeup or different colors, I do not embrace any of that at all. You're busy women, you're smart women that come to this page. You don't want to be spending, half an hour or an hour doing your makeup every day. And if you have to, most people won't bother. But if you can get it done in 10 minutes or less, and it will last, a good part of the day, so you only need one touch-up, maybe two, that's makeup working for you, okay? And you really save a lot in your pocketbook. So there, hear that? Soapbox is knocking. You can achieve these results so easily, so consistently. And to get there, all you need to do is to watch these videos and practice every day for a month, and you'll get it. And if you have questions or you're not getting it right, you can post a picture on my Going Gray page or on my public page and ask for some coaching. Say this is what you're doing. You're not sure if it's working very well or whatever. So I can certainly. The light has changed here, so I'm going to have to bring this around. Looks like we're going to have a thunderstorm. Well, that doesn't look so good either, does it? Anyway, it's those simple little things. And again, the Maybelline Superstay 24-hour, from a cost perspective, from a wearability perspective, from a ability to customize perspective and make up your own colors, and for defining. Remember, ladies, lips that aren't defined when you're older doesn't work very well. We all know why. Because of see the fine lines around our mouths? When we use anything that's wax-based or cream, that goes up into the fine lines around the mouth. And you have to really clean it off to get it off. It's not worth it. That's why I love the Maybelline. So, and I'm using my lips and hers as examples. This will last me, I put this on about an hour ago. This will last me all day long. And if I eat anything greasy, even drinking my coffee, which has some oil in it, my lips will not bleed, feather, or transfer onto anything. I mean, I don't know how much better it can get than that. So, these products that I recommend really do wear well. And again, with practice, you will achieve looks like this. It's just following what the video tutorials will tell you. Okay, let's see. Fifi, I'd like to do that to my photograph. Is there an app for these changes or Photoshop? No. Well, there's apps, but I gotta tell you, do not go there, because you know what they do. This is, I have such a problem with this. I will, on the Going Gray page, we do not allow photo filters on the page because it's not realistic. In Photoshop, what I do, I use no filters whatsoever. The only thing I use is the color and the brushes, and I attend to these make betters from my as if I were the person were sitting in my chair and I were using the colors to paint or do whatever I need to do. Do not use photo filters, please, Fifi. It's just And I've got a video on that very thing, how it's creating a mental disorder, in my opinion, and my background as a transformational psychotherapist. It's causing real problems for women. I'm calling it facial dysmorphic disorder, because women get so caught up in thinking that they look like they do when they take a selfie of themselves because of these photo filters. That's how they think they look. And when anyone like myself says, thanks, but on this page we don't have filters for good reasons because it's a teaching page, I can't tell you some of the abuse I've taken because of it, and because I've interrupted their pattern about how they think they look. So don't go there. Just practice the art of good makeup, and then take your photo with the correct light. Stand in front of a window so that you get good lighting, and there's no shadows or anything else like that. And if you want to take a good profile of yourself, see how you see me in here. This is called a headshot because it's just the head and the shoulders. That's all that you want in your shot. You want a clean background. Now, if your hair is dark, you want a lighter background. If your hair is light, you want a darker background. And you want clothing. This isn't a good example of today, but you want clothing. If I didn't have this colored top on, it would be different. You want clothing that does not fight for focus with your makeup. Okay? You want your face. That should be the focus. That's what you want your picture to look like. Okay? I hope that helps. Okay, and let's see, we have I am is spoke. Okay, the gray hair looks dry, brittle, and aging. You can use all the makeup tricks in the world. The gray hair makes you look all too old. Au contraire, I must disagree with you. If you're not using if you're not using decent products for your hair, if it's really dry, are you using heat on your hair to curl with it or to blow dry? If you're going to use any hot tools on your hair, you need to use a heat protectant. I like Tresemme. It works just fine, but most of the time I don't use heat on my hair, on gray hair. I curl my hair with pin curls. Or when I want a straighter look like this, I put one roller in the front going down, one at the crown, and one at the nape of the neck to smooth my hair out. Because on Velcro rollers, it pulls the shaft and makes it soft. So no, I don't agree with you. And there's all kinds of ways of making gray hair look great. And the other thing you can do is use a coconut oil on your hair. Slather your hair with coconut oil. Cover it with a plastic, shower cap for about an hour. And then after that, shampoo your hair normally, and it will it'll look wonderful and shiny. So, hope that helps. And let's see, Joyce Brown, a troll. Thank you, Joyce. You'd, you'd think I'd recognize them, wouldn't you? You'd think I'd recognize them, but obviously I don't. But for those of you who know that I am rather political, I think that I do get my fair share of trolls and haters on subjects that are difficult, and I've gotten used to how to deal with them, and it's generally I give you one chance, and if you want to continue being silly, my delete and block buttons have gotten so much use. I've worn the lettering off them. I'm serious. Anyway, but when it comes to things where people are trying to figure out and learn, I'll give them a chance and see. Okay, and Karen, I think the gray hair complements and looks soft and lovely around the face. Very pretty. Great. I'm glad you like. Okay, folks, so I think that maybe we should move on to contestant number 14, shall we? So let's bring her up. Contestant number 14. And look at that wonderful salt and pepper hair. Isn't it fantastic? And she's a great example of someone with dark brows too. That she may maintain her dark brows as her hair continues to get lighter, as it continues to grow out. But I love the coloring of her hair. All right, so let's take a look now at what a few adjustments can do. What do we see? Right, what hits us right off the bat is her eyes and her hair. Now, take a look at how the circumference of her hair in the before and the after picture. Look at the difference that makes. And I also filled in her bangs just a little bit more. Now her brows, she's got beautiful brows, but shaped correctly. Now notice with this contestant, I've taken the back end of the brow off a bit. I've raised it because I'm just going to move this aside for a second. No, I better not do it that way. What they usually tell us for brow guidelines is to do, wait a minute, let me see if I can get this. Yeah. They usually tell us to go right, the nose across to here. Now look at how much I've taken off. Well, I haven't taken off. Mother Nature did it for me. The end of my brow. At this age, I say you need to do it. Go from the corner of your lip to the corner of your eye. This is what we did in our youth. This is what we need to do now. Can you see how that raises it up? Okay, I'll put her back in place. So that's what I've done with our contestant here. And then I've just taken away some of the hair underneath, hair on top, and taken the point off that right brow where the arch is, and added more to the top to extend the arch. Now, with her eyes, she's got great eyes, but again, look at how the skin tone evened up around it sets up a palette for not too much more eye makeup. I did bring her gel liner right into the tear duct and using eyeshadow on the lower lash line. And then I also added some eyeshadow to her lid, just along the lash line, and blended it up just in her lid, because her lids can take it, and although she has a hooded eye, we can still see her lid. So I just took that eyeshadow and just blended it up for her. Now we take a look at her lips. Here's a good example of lips that are a little bit too light, in my opinion, and too shiny. Whereas in the after picture, she's got beautiful shaped lips. In the after picture, she's got some depth, but she's still got the sheen. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the guidelines. And can you see with those guidelines where I've had to take hair off and just add a bit more to the top by the arch area. Not too much, but it's amazing what one row of hair will do. Amazing. You know, um, it's like if you've ever had a denture or anything in your mouth, or even a needle or anything like that, like one little thing can bother your mouth tremendously, right? It's one little thing. Well, it's the same thing with the face. One hair can make a big difference. One row of hair can make a huge difference. So it's the minimalist approach. It's taking it one step at a time that makes the difference. Okay, so let's bring the bars in. And we'll go up here to the brows first. Now you see, even with the bars, you can see where the especially the back ends on the right really makes a difference by bringing it up. And I love her thick brows, but taking some off the top, especially on the right, and a little bit on underneath on the left, it just makes a big difference. Okay, now we're going to look at her eyes. Beautiful eyes in both, but look how that beautiful chocolate brown pupil just jumps out. And it didn't take a lot of makeup. Once again, it would have been a combination of Brune, Carbon, and either Print or Coquette. You know, just depends. Now, when we add the eyebrows to it, look at the statement that makes. And again, here's where the even skin tone, especially in the front parts of the eyes, makes a huge difference. Because why? The canvas is clean for the eyes to do their thing. Okay, so now let's go to her lovely lips. And you can see I haven't done anything really except defined her lips with a little stronger color. Ladies at this age, having, wearing the shimmery lipstick is just not the way to go. It looks great on young women, but not at this stage, in my opinion. All right, let's disappear these things and take another look at her before and after. All righty, let's see if we have any questions from the peanut gallery. Ethical vegan, do you recommend hair straightening for gray hair? Nope. No, I don't. Unless you have all kinds of money, and I do mean all kinds of money, to do that, even then, I don't know. Depends on your lifestyle, your money situation, everything else. But for the general population, for most women, I would say no, but you certainly can straighten it. Look, I have wavy hair now. My hair, if I let it go, if I just shampooed it, don't do anything, just let it air dry, and then just run my fingers through it, it puffs out, it's wavy. So that's the structure of my hair. So if I want it to be straight like it is, I put in 3 large Velcro rollers. And here's the trick with rollers, ladies. Spritz it with just water. It will give you a curl. If you don't put any water in, it won't curl the same. Believe me. So a little bit of spritzing of water, and for me, like 3 large Velcro rollers, and I have them placed so I can sleep on them, and I've got videos on that. This is what I get. This is what I get when I take the rollers out, just 3 of them. It's much easier and than straightening. If I have to straighten, if I were in a situation where my hair was a bit wavy or curly and I had to, I would spray it first with a heat protectant. I would use a hair straightener and I wouldn't hold it on it. I would slide it through fast. Slide it through fast because hot tools will yellow your gray hair if you're not using them properly. And don't use it too hot, okay? Use it hot enough, but not too hot. That's what I would do instead. Long-winded answer to your question. And Joyce, hiya Joyce. Good to know about the end of the brow and of the mouth. Thanks, you're welcome. Yeah, that is just something I've been playing around with, and I thought it doesn't work anymore. Because remember, it pulls the eye down, especially when our eyes are falling down. Okay, and what color did you use on her lips? I just picked up the color that she was already wearing. Now, if you wanted to buy that color, I would say probably, it could be like a perpetual plum. See, I only recommend the Maybelline. And for those that don't know, I get no benefit. I receive no money. I am not monetized. I get sweet nothing. So I can recommend or not whoever I want. I'm not have allegiance to nobody. But would I recommend all their products? No, but I do recommend this. I think it's an excellent product. And for those that they find they have problems with it, the matte ink that Maybelline makes, many women are finding that it works quite well. It wears well. It doesn't bleed, transfer, or feather either. So that's another option you have. But I'd say 55. They have 045, but it has too much shimmer in it, I think. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. Linda. Your redo of her brows is amazing. I hope I can get that look. You can. Everybody can. I mean it. Everybody can. Watch the videos on the eyebrow shaping and the correction. And I like even myself. I do guidelines. I did guidelines this morning. I don't just try to wing it. I put my guidelines in, check to make sure that they're, as close as I can get them as far as shaping and all that sort of stuff. And then I just fill it in, just like coloring. It's so easy, but you've got to do guidelines. And if you've got brows that are outside where your guidelines should be, then put your guidelines on. Use maybe a black eyeliner pencil or a black eyeshadow or something like that to put it on to get them right. And then take a selfie, look at that selfie and study it and see if the guidelines are correct. And when they are, then take away the hair that's outside the guidelines and fill in the bare spots within the guidelines. Okay? I hope that helps, Linda. Strawberry. Hi, Sharon. Great to be here, gleaning some wisdom from you. Great. I'm glad you are, Strawberry. And Ethical Vegan, thank you. You're most welcome. And Fifi, what to do with end of brow? Shave it off? I don't tweeze as brows are thin enough. Okay. Just because your brows are thin, if a hair doesn't belong within the guidelines, tweeze it out. Just tweeze it out. You can shave, but it's just going to cut off the top, whereas the tweeze is going to pull it out from the root. Okay? And shaving, around the eyebrow, you want to be very careful. Doing it to yourself, I have to admit, doing it to yourself is much harder than doing it to somebody. Like when I used to shave brides, if they had a lot of growth, like peach fuzz around their eyebrow, I had an electric razor specifically for that purpose, which you can buy, by the way, in any like Shoppers Drug Mart here in Canada, or I think it's Target in the States or whatever. I think Remington makes one and Revlon makes one. It's just a tiny little electric razor you put in with a battery, and you can just shave all the peach fuzz off. It cleans the hair fine. But if you're doing really detailed work with shaping, that's not the route you want to go. It just isn't. So yeah, I hope that helps. Oh, I already answered that one. Sorry. Um, okay, so that looks like the end of that situation, or the contestants. So now, now that all the questions have been answered, here we go. Okay, and Strawberry, you may, let me see. Whoa, sorry about that. I'm just trying to get this right. Oh well. Strawberry, you may well have already answered this, but did you use a cream concealer under her eyes and then perhaps powder over it, trying to work out how you got that great lightening effect? No, I didn't. I didn't use a cream concealer. This and Strawberry, what's important here with creams and liquids, remember this, ladies, creams and liquids melt. When you need to touch up, and they have to be sealed, of course. Any liquid or cream you use anywhere on the face for any purpose has to be sealed with a powder, and usually it's done with a translucent powder. Or if you're using a thing like Dermablend for covering tattoos or things of that nature, then you want a fixing powder, which really seals it, locks it in, and waterproofs it. Okay, I don't think it's necessary unless. This is why I suggest going 2 shades lighter than your regular foundation color for under the eyes and pack it on. Look, there are pictures of me. If you check out the video on the best foundations, I have a picture right on the thumbnail of my before and after look, and you can see I have, my eyes are dark. My eyes are dark. That's just the way it is. And you can see where just putting in an extra layer and pushing it in. And like, I'll show you, these are what I use, okay? I use this to put more on. And when I want to get really into something, this little dome brush, yeah, it's got an elastic, and yeah, I'm a professional artist, and yeah, I refuse to buy any more brushes. I cannot justify it. So I put an elastic around this to make it tighter. And I go in, and then I push in like this, and push in, and push in. That's all I do. Now, I do use a concealer, MAC Pro Longwear. And there's also Forever HD, but I tend to prefer the MAC just a little bit more. I can't remember why at the moment, but I do. And I have some spots sometimes on my chin or a couple of other places that I will just use the tiniest little bit and dab like that, blend it in a little bit, and then let it dry. And then I put the foundation powder over top of it. And how do I put it on? I stipple. I don't drag it. I stipple it on. Remember, when you first put on your first layer, like with your sponge, you drag it on and you cover everything. It's like a drag motion, but when you're wanting to get the extra coverage, if you drag it on, you'll also drag it off, okay, when you're going into the second layer. So that's why stippling is important. So having a little dome brush like that, a little detail brush, those things are really, really, really handy to have. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. Okay, Strawberry. And Joe Morgan, brows were tattooed 10 years ago. Now they are natural blue-gray. Any suggestions? Yeah, that unfortunately happens a lot. I got my eyebrows tattooed, and I still have a little bit of a tail left. And fortunately, they turned taupe, which was perfect. But the poor person that was doing it with me, I did it at a school where I was teaching, and I had two of my students with me because they were wanting to learn more. They were really good students. They were like little sponges wanting to soak everything up. So they sat with me. So I had the artist draw on first. I told her what I needed. I had her draw them on first, and then we looked at it, and then she did the tattooing. And she did a good job, actually. She did a good job because not only was I looking, and that was before cell phones really, so I was counting on my two students because their eyes were pretty good, had a pretty good critical eye. They watched and I got them great, but they faded. But they faded into a taupe. And I made sure that the colors didn't have a red in them, or any of the undertones that you see. So that's what happens. So the answer to your question is, if they were tattooed, there are tattoo correction people out there. I would research your area and see if there's a tattoo artist that does correction. They can go over top. That's one approach. The other one is to, if they probably lighten somewhat, you can use a Derma Blend foundation over top of them, which is a cream, and apply that. Make sure that it's warm before you put it on, and use your fingers to put it on, and just stipple it on, and cover it. Let it dry, and then put the fixing powder, the Derma Blend fixing powder. It's a white powder over top. And then you can put then you can put your eyeshadow color for your brows over top of it. That's another approach. You can also try, depending on how much they've faded, see if you can use maybe just a something like the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. That might be enough for you. You'll have to experiment a little bit, and you go into the store. Go into the store and just say you want to try this concealer and put it on your brow and see how it looks. So I hope those are options that can help you, Joyce. Or Joy. Sorry about that. Thanks very much for that detailed answer. You're most welcome. You're most welcome. And Karen. Lancome has really nice eye concealer, is liquid and has vitamin E. I let it set before I put on the dry powder foundation. Really stays well. Great. If it works for you, great. That's great. But in humid weather, does it work in really humid weather? Because anything that is liquid or anything like that, and I got to tell you, you'd be better off to use vitamin E cream on your lids at night than to have it in your makeup. There's so much pshaw about what they say is in products, ladies. We're sold down the river about product content that, it drives me crazy. It's just snake oil all the way. Vitamin E isn't going to do anything for your eyes this way. And when they put this stuff in makeup, no, using your serums or things of that nature, Karen, at night. I don't know what your cleansing routine is, but I got to tell you, a good cleansing routine every single night with your makeup really cleaned off completely, and I use an AHA one night and a retinol the next. I alternate them. Whatever your thing is, nighttime is the thing, and with a clean face. Not cleaning your face is the problem for most, and I only recommend a lotion underneath the moisturizing lotion underneath the dual finish powder. Look, my eyes, I got a lot of wrinkles, right? Got a lot of them. You get up really, like, nobody's going to get this close to me in my real life, right? But this is about a foot away from my camera. I got wrinkles. So what? So what? They are who I am, and I am a hell of a lot more than my wrinkles. That's a faux shoe. Anyway, Karen, if it's working for you and you like the look and it's servicing you well, great. But it's not an approach that I would recommend. But thank you. Joy can also go go to an artist and they can do pigment removal services. Yeah. You want to talk to a good artist, so do your research and ask to speak to their former clients, okay, or people who have appreciated their services, and ask to see their portfolio of the work that they've done. Now, I know there's one in Toronto. She's probably retired now. She did some amazing work with tattooing, corrective work that was just amazing. What she did with brows and with nipples for women who had lost, their breasts, different things like that, or over scar tissue, things of that nature. Fantastic. So they're out there. You just have to search for them. And Kelly, finally, I got to join a live stream. Yay! I love your channel and your tips. Thank you very much, Kelly. I love your lovely comment. Thank you. And we have Anne McGinn. Hello from Ireland. Anne, thank you. A lovely Irish lass here we have. Good to see you here. So it doesn't look like we have any more questions. So I'm just going to jump to our summary here. And what is it? Even skin tone, followed closely with corrected brows and lip shape using the correct color and weight. Okay? Remember to take lots of selfies, ladies. When you're learning, let's just say you're shaping your brows. Take selfies, because it doesn't cost you anything and you can delete them all, but keep the ones that you like, okay? And remember that practice, patience, and persistence will absolutely get you there. I guarantee if you do that. You have to practice. See, unfortunately, what I've found with many women, not all for sure, but enough, that they figure if they buy a product or they get a certain hair color or something like this, it's going to do what they need for them. Au contraire, it will not. Buying a product just because it says it's going to do something and not using it correctly, or maybe it's the incorrect product, isn't going to do it for you. You've got to practice and you've got to do it every day. And seriously, if you did it every day like you're going to school, take a half an hour every single day for a month and dedicate that time to upping your makeup game, and you will achieve some very happy results. I promise you. Okay, we have another question here. Anne says, hi Sharon, I love your channel. Can you tell me where to buy the Barelle foundation here in Canada? You can't, Anne. That's the problem. See, that's the problem. You can't, I don't think that they ship to Canada still. And I've been trying to find other companies because it's Audrey Morris that makes it. They're the manufacturer, but they sell it to different companies who relabel for themselves. Okay, Deca in Canada. Now you might want to check out your local trade secrets because they do sell Deca, which is the same product. Okay, so check them out because they did here in Toronto, but then they stopped. I can't tell you how many stores I've talked to the managers and said, if you had this product on the shelf, I would help you sell it because people want it and need it, but they don't care because they're young men running these huge corporations, right? Anyway, I just want to say that, so those are the things. Practice and remember the importance of each step. So getting into the social media aspect, if you haven't subscribed, please do so and let your friends know to tune in and click the bell, to get your notifications. And for those who are interested in the advocacy work I do around women's and children's sexual safety and other things, you can follow me on my advocacy channel. So please, if you could thumbs up this video if you liked it, or any other ones that you like, please thumbs up, because YouTube, social media, and algorithms and everything really is playing havoc with content providers. So I would really appreciate it if you do that. And because I'm not monetized, it makes a difference. So your help that way would be wunderbar. You can also, if you want to follow me on my beauty page, it's public, and I put stuff up there as well. And Going Gray and Loving It group is a closed group. It's just for women who are transitioning through to their gray hair. They're embracing it, and a lot of the other things that come with it. And for those who want make betters, you can join me in either the Going Gray page, or drop me a line in the beauty page, and there's instructions there on how to take a picture standing in front of a window. Your chin's level with parallel with the floor, no turning sideways, just looking straight, and look directly into the camera lens. That should do it. And just a head and shoulder shot is all that is needed. Now, the other thing is to make sure, this is what I was telling you about earlier. If you look on the page, see where that circle is on your right-hand side. That's where you search for anything that you want. Or you can go into the playlists, click on that, and it will take you to the page where all the playlists are listed. So that you might want to see 3 or 4 videos on, anything. They're all there in the playlists for you. Okay, and this week's quote is, when it comes to hair, architecture, suitability, and body-face balance are the most important aspects when deciding on style and cut. And self-styling is an art that can be learned with practice. Okay. Well, we seem to have come to the end of our journey today, and we have a question, so let's bring this up here. Hi Sharon, I love your channel. Can you tell me where to maybe I already looked at that. Sorry. Yeah, you can buy it through the States, but I think you have to pay a $50 thing through Barelle. Anyway, please look in the show me underneath the video after the video is finished, and everything will be there for you. Okay. Anyway, ladies, it's been a pleasure, keeping your company, and remember to take good care of you. Take care of your loved ones and the world around you. And if you've benefited by this video or any of the others, please consider doing a pay forward in my daughter Andrea Main's name, with your own time or your talent or your treasure, to a person or a group in need in your part of the world. I'm not monetized to receive any benefit. I give this to you free so that hopefully we can spread the goodwill throughout the world on a daily basis, just with some simple, wonderful things. Okay? Thank you very much, ladies. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you next time. Mwah!